Well, good morning.
Good morning.
This is Kayla Houston with All Things HTX, powered by Connect Realty, and I've got Mr. Mark Taylor, the Regional Director for BNI Houston East, joining us this morning. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Okay, so this campaign is focused on talking about people that are in business, how it's affecting them personally in their personal lives, how it's affecting their business in ways that they can still not only survive, but thrive in times just like these through COVID-19. First of all, let's talk about a little bit about how COVID-19 has affected you personally. How are you doing?
Well, I'm staying at home a lot more. It seems to me like probably a lot of people are having to adjust to not only, of course, staying at home, but I'm very busy, and I'm using video conferencing really virtually nonstop throughout the day, so such that I have to make sure that I have a more structured schedule, because otherwise I just would hardly. That's all I do all day. So we're very busy, and but it's all this kind of interaction.
Right. Well, good. I'm sure that a lot of businesses and a lot of business owners and sales reps can relate to having to transition to the Zoom platform. So it's becoming the new norm, right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit, again, we were talking about how in business, not only can you survive during these times, but you can thrive. Tell me a little bit about how you, with the company that you're with, the organization that you are with BNI, how you're helping businesses do just that. Tell me a little bit about the BNI organization.
All right, Business Network International. It's an organization that I discovered back in 2001. Yep, I was in sales and doing what most salespeople do. I was, probably 90% of a salesperson's time is not spent in selling, but in prospecting. And how you choose to do your prospecting makes a big difference. And there's a lot of choices. And so I was doing probably all those different options of prospecting. And every now and then I would get a referral, but not very often. I wouldn't get them daily. Certainly I wouldn't have enough business through referrals to keep me busy on a daily basis. And yet no business person that I know of would argue that referrals are without a doubt the top rung of the prospecting ladder, the top way to do business. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I learned about an organization who does just that, Business Networking International. And I learned more about it. I became involved in it. And quite simply, it changed everything. It changed my business life for certain, because I began to, in a short period of time, I began to do just what I mentioned. All my business became referral. Let me make a quick distinction between referral and lead, because at the time I really thought lead and referral was two different words for the same thing. Kind of like a guy named William, you could call him William, Will, Billy, Bill. It's names for the same. Absolutely not. A lead is a name, maybe an address, and some kind of contact, and a go get 'em tiger. There's no association. But a referral is, Kayla, I was talking to a friend of mine who needs a good realtor, and I gave him your name. They want you to give them a call today if possible. Right. So it's somebody who wants to speak to you. They already know what you're going to talk about. It's actually connecting two people who have an interest in talking to each other. That's a referral. And so when I learned how to do that through BNI, and it actually became my passion.
Right. Yeah. Well, me as being part of BNI, I do understand that difference, and it's so important in times like these that you do have people that are in your corner supporting what you're doing in your business. But tell me a little bit about, again, what makes BNI unique from other networking organizations.
Good question. First of all, let me just say this: there's no Hatfields and McCoys going on here. There's no right or wrong. It's like if you're going to buy a vehicle, there's a lot of different companies that make vehicles, and whether you want a Ford or a Lexus or a Chevy or whatever it may be, BNI is another option. It's not the option. It's not. So I just want to make that clear. But it, just as vehicles have their distinctions, besides having 4 tires and a steering wheel and air conditioning, I mean, there's some unique features. BNI's principal uniqueness is its philosophy of givers gain. Frankly, I was attracted to a lot of the other elements about BNI, but none more so than the philosophy of Giver's Gain. Quite simply, if you give first, if you have an attitude of, I'm going to help you, how can I help you? Then others will naturally want to help you back. That's powerful. That's not unique. We didn't invent that, but it attracts givers, people who subscribe to that, who live their lives that way. So that is, I'm going to have to say, probably the most distinguishing factor. There's two other elements I think that make it really, it's critical for its success, and that is it's highly structured. Not everybody wants a really highly structured referral or process, but it certainly is. Mm-hmm. The other element is it's built on strong personal relationships, friends. Rather than being in a group of business associates, nothing wrong with associates, but associates tend to be more at an arm's length. It's more formal. It's more traditional. Friends are friends. Friends are at a much deeper level than associates, and friends are more understanding. They're more forgiving. They just relate on a different level. So when you and I become friends, and our objective is to try to help each other and give first, that is a very, very powerful concept. One that I have never seen an equal to.
Right, right. Personally, I can attest to the fact the first time I came into a BNI meeting, the friendship and the camaraderie and the welcoming was something I'd never seen before. I was like, I came out of into a dream world. It's like one of those concepts you just don't see at networking events, where people are really looking to help you find out, how can I help you build your business? They're giving that instead of, first starting with themselves, they're giving first. So tell me, with that giver's gain mentality, how is BNI and its members, how are they making an impact in the community right now?
Well, Kayla, if there's one thing that business people really are struggling with now, it's how am I going to gain business? How am I going to grow my business in this current environment? Even in the world as we knew it not too long ago, when we still had personal interaction, it still was, as I mentioned earlier, it's the number one concern for businesses, and that's how are we going to get business? Well, now more than ever, when we have a very new reality of yourself, you're in home, you don't have the opportunity that we used to take for granted, that you could get out and go literally every single day in whatever community you're in. There are often dozens of different opportunities for you to go and connect with other people. They can be service organizations, they could be business organizations, civic, whatever kind, but that is gone now. Well, I heard a long time ago that you build your network before you get it, so that when you get it, you have it. Right. And that is what BNI is able to do in the community now, is offer not only to its members a viable, effective way to continue working together and helping each other and growing our business even in these times. Mm-hmm. It's also an opportunity for those who are looking for that, who no longer have whatever way they were using to prospect. Now it's gone, or limited. It's a way for them to grow their business, right, in times like these.
Yeah. So speaking of time like these, how do you think that the pandemic that we're dealing with right now, what effect has it having on BNI?
Huge. You should know that all of part of the structure is our chapters meet for a 90-minute, it starts on time, it ends on time meeting. It's a 20-point structured agenda. It's like a business one-act play. It is designed to produce referrals, and it does. Well, we have over 3,500 chapters around the nation, these groups of individuals that meet during the business week, and suddenly they can't meet. So we had the huge task of converting that to video conferencing and a Zoom platform. So that enables our chapters to still meet, and they do. In fact, there's some advantages to this new lifestyle. a lot of them. And but the point is, it's not like, well, when we're hunker down everybody and when it's all over, we'll begin meeting again. We're still meeting. We still have people who are joining in our meetings that are not only the members, but others who are seeking for a way to connect and do business. So yes, it's different. A virtual meeting with you is not like being in the same room, but it's also it's an advantage over just being on a phone call with you. So it's still interaction.
Right. I can attest to the fact that even though we have gone from meeting face to face, week to week, and now we're digitally meeting through the Zoom platform, we're still passing referrals. We're still able to support one another's businesses. And that, I believe, is one of the biggest benefits that the organization has made the allowances and the pivots necessary to still serve the members, where we still have the opportunity to greatly, in some instances, better than before, be able to refer one another's business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Kayla, if you think about it, sure, we have a worldwide situation unlike any of us have ever seen before, but people are still consumers. We still consume daily, and there's all kinds of products and services, some of which we're maybe unable to access now, but many of which we are completely able to, and people still buy and sell houses, and they still do. There's a number of things. They still have banking and insurance and needs and all kinds of needs. And the fact is, they still need to connect with people to meet those needs. And so that is completely still going on, and you still need to effective ways to communicate, and we're doing just that.
Right. One other thing that's happened, even those businesses that are not able to still operate right now, because of the BNI structure and the Giver's Gain concept and the friendship that we have with one another, we're taking the time to still help those individuals whose businesses may not be operating. We're helping them develop the relationships that will sustain them and help them even grow bigger when they are able to open their doors back up. So we're all very concerned about one another. And it's such a blessing to be able to have a group of people that are still worried about your business, even in a time like this. Outside of friends and family, you've got a core group of people that are constantly thinking about you and how your business is doing. It's something.
I have a quick example of that. There was a lady who's in one of our BNI chapters. She's a caterer. Well, caterers, I mean, her business is completely shut down, actually. She can't do her business in the conventional way. But her chapter got together, as you're just mentioning, and said, okay, how can we help you? Well, last night she had an event where they cooked. Now she's a chef. She and her husband are, I mean, this is not just fast food. And they made fish and shrimp and I think they had a crawfish boil. They had a lot of different items that you could pre-order, come by and pick up, and it was fantastically successful. And so even though she's a caterer and her normal way of doing business was completely shut down, her group, her support group, her family, if you will, her business family said, hey, let's think of some ways that we can help you. We want to support you. We still eat.
Right.
Back to your consumer, and you could fix great food. We'd like to support you. And so that's just one example of many I could give you where people come together. Again, friends want to help friends. They want to support friends. And that's that network that we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, what opportunities do business people have to be a part of the organization, the BNI Giver's Gain concept?
Well, chapters allow only one person per professional classification. Okay. And I'm finding that our existing chapters now have an opportunity to, now more than ever, to look for those professions that are not already represented in their chapter, who are looking, sometimes desperately looking for a way to grow their business. So again, it's people looking for business and chapters looking to add more. So they're looking for each other. And so I'm seeing that our chapters are realizing, this would be a great time for us to add, and they've got a laundry list of professions who are out there looking for business, frustrated, I mean, maybe a little bit slightly panicked or concerned about how they're going to get that. And the chapters are like, why don't you come Why don't you come visit our meeting virtually?
Yeah.
It's, as I said earlier, it's not for everybody, but it may be what you're looking for. So our chapters are positioned to explode membership wise,
Right.
because of our current business environment.
Okay, so one thing I want to reiterate. So you said that there's one chair per industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means that you have a chapter of people that are in all different industries, and no one's competing with one another, but all focused on giving each other business. That's something.
One residential realtor, one chiropractor, one banker, one pest control guy. Yes, that's right.
Yes, and that in itself is something that that I know for a fact makes sure you're top of mind with all the other members when it comes to that particular profession that you're doing. So they make sure that if they, for me, being a real estate agent and it being 39,000 of us in this city, having a group of people that think of me top of mind when it comes to residential real estate, it's a blessing. So what about people that cannot find a chapter that has that available position, that available chair in their industry? What would you suggest for them?
Well, Kayla, they're just doomed to cold call the rest of their business lives. Actually, that's not true.
I'm sure.
There is a lot of opportunity in the city of Houston for more chapters, more groups. And we're actually, you asked earlier, how is my business changing in the current situation? Wow, word is getting out that BNI already has a network, already has a 35-year formula in place that's been working literally around the planet for that many years, and we have a lot of capacity for more chapters in the Houston area. And so the short answer is they can contact me, probably the simplest way to do that, and talk to me about a day and a time and a place, really, a place being less important at this point. The place will be on a video conferencing, but they can start their own group. And we're finding that, well, that's a great opportunity for people to solve their problem of looking for business, how to generate more business.
Awesome. Okay, so of course they're able to leave a message, send a message to me or into the comments. But first, let's get your contact information. If they're looking to, if they want to be a part of the BNI, be a part of a chapter, they can call you, email you. What's your preferred way of contact?
Probably the best way is to email me, because that way I'll make sure that I have that captured and if you call me, it's likely these days I'm going to be on a call. So it'll go to voicemail, and that's fine too. But really, email is great. Okay. And I have a group of people, our launch team. We actually have been gearing up of late because there's an increased demand for starting new chapters. And so the good news is it's not just me. I'm not the only cook in the kitchen with hundreds of people out there, hungry people. We've got a team of people who can help them too. And we're talking about the entire greater Houston area, to include outlying areas, awesome, beyond Harris County even.
Oh, good. Okay, so that email address, could you read that out for us? The
best. Yeah. It's Mark with a K, Mark at BNIHoustonEast.com.
Okay. Awesome. I'll make sure that we put that in the comments below. And is there anything else that you would like to add about something that not only people can hear, like when it comes to the people that are in business and they're a little bit concerned, is there anything else that you want to give as an advice or things that, with this pandemic that's going on right now, that, words of wisdom or something to close out and take away?
Well, yeah, I was going to say yes until you said words of wisdom, and now I'm kind of scrambling, but let me do the best I can. I've observed that there's essentially two reactions to our current situation. Those who see it as this as an opportunity to expand their business, to do business in different ways, maybe even offer different product or service offerings out of necessity because they're unable to do what they were before. And so I think people who have lived long enough realize that yes, there's going to be adversity. There just is, but always in the storm of adversity, there's the opportunity to advance, for change, for good. But you have to be looking for it. I mean, so on the other end of the scale, you have people who maybe just their natural inclination is to go into the room, close the blinds, turn off the light, assume the fetal position underneath the bed, and just wait it out. And that is actually not what to do. Get around other positive people who do recognize that yes, this is real, and it's in some cases devastating, but it's not life ending. It's not business. It doesn't have to be business ending. There's again, it's how you look at it. And if you look at this as an opportunity, maybe to change industries, maybe to change course, maybe to I don't know, but there's my observation is I see that in others who say, I don't like it. There's a big adjustment, but I've encountered things I didn't like and had to make adjustments before in my life. In fact, it's a cycle. So I think there's a lot of benefit to being around like-minded people who will help each other. Look, there are days when I'm that person who needs someone to kind of a shoulder to cry on, or someone to kind of help me through a tough time. And that's the value of having a tribe, of having a network, having a group of people who will help you.
Right.
So my advice would be to seek, and you'll look for a group like that, whether it's with BNI or not. Look for a group that you can connect with who will be with you during the highs and lows.
Right. Well, thank you so much for sharing the BNI concept and how that can help business owners to thrive during this period of time and find positive people to rally around them and help them in their business. So thank you so much.
Welcome.
Yeah, I appreciate it. So again, if anyone's watching, they're looking for somewhere to grow their business during this time, please reach out. We'll have Mark's email address down below, and have an amazing rest of your weekend, Mr. Mark Taylor.
Thank you, Kayla. Appreciate you.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.